Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Friday. It is Friday. It's Aloha Oracle Friday. It's Aloha Friday. So, yeah. I'm going to start with the Angel Answers deck. Just to run over the guidelines, don't overthink it. If it doesn't feel like it fits you, it's probably not for you. I will give you my interpretation and the interpretation of the card because somebody took the time to write that book. So there you go. That's kind of the real quick rundown version. This is the only one I do not do the book with, because this is just kind of to get everybody, waiting for everyone to come on. So, all the things, right? All the things. So let's see. Oh, interesting. Well, I got my 5, so, that's really interesting. There are 2 yeses in here. So I'm going to flip these over. And they're not necessarily in order, guys. They're just kind of, So let's see. First card. Choose a new direction. So this doesn't mean that the direction you're heading in isn't the right direction. It just means that maybe the direction you're trying to go in is not working. So come up with a different path, a different, approach to whatever it is. If it feels like it's something that's still meant for you or meant to be in your life. So again, choose a new direction. Or if maybe you feel like you're hitting your head against a wall, like you're just that little robot, right, that keeps running into that wall and needs to be turned around so it can keep going the other way. If you're feeling like that and you're feeling like, no matter what you do, nothing is progressing, you may be at the end of that particular journey, and it may be time for you to go, in a different direction. Choose a new direction. All right. Be assertive. Every time I see this, I think of like cheerleaders. Be assertive. I know. So be assertive. What more can you say about that, right? It's pretty direct. Be assertive. If you have concerns, allow yourself to be heard. Stop hiding in the corner. Stop, cowering down and then getting mad when, you want to say something and you don't. Just speak up. You can do it in a kind way, or you can say, hey, you know what? I have some thoughts on this. What do you think? You never know. If your thoughts get shot down, it's okay. Keep trying, because you never know what's going to stick, right? You never know unless you try. So the next card, reconsider. So this is interesting. We have choose a new direction and reconsider. I don't know if they go together, but you could reconsider a new direction, or a new path. Maybe reconsider when the right time is to be assertive. Like I said, you'll know when the right time is, but you don't have to be a jerk about it. You don't have to be all, hey, listen to me. Just, be assertive in a good way. And reconsider. Reconsider, it could mean a lot of things. Maybe you're on a path that, again, you don't think you're supposed to be on, not sure you're supposed to be on. Or maybe you're on you're avoiding the path that you need to be on. And it's telling you, be assertive in your own life. Choose the direction that is best for you, and reconsider just sitting in the same place your entire life, not pursuing all the things you want to pursue. Good morning, Eileen, and happy Aloha Friday. And then here's the last 2 cards. One is yes and one is yes. So this is like yes, and this one's yes. So did you get that? One has an exclamation, one has no exclamation. So one is just kind of, the chill yes, like, yeah, okay, if that makes you feel enjoyable. But if there is a question that's on your mind and none of these other cards feel like they're sitting well with you, this is your sign. Okay, I don't know what it is. It may not be the answer you want. Believe it or not, yes is not always a good thing. Okay, it just depends on the situation. Or yes, which is kind of, to me, not quite a question mark, but definitely not an exclamation mark. All right, so I'm sure that was absolutely no help to you at all, because, my brain is just, after yesterday, my brain is just kind of marshmallowy right now. Not a lot happening in there. I think my squirrels are asleep this morning, but all the craziness, right? All the craziness. So anyway, I only pulled 3 decks today. I pulled the Goddess Guidance, Oracle cards, and Magical Unicorns, and the Heal Yourself. I think Heal Yourself is a good one to start with. I don't know why I was very drawn to this deck this morning. You know, we can choose to stay in one place, or we can choose to live our lives. And it's all up to us. You know, we can't blame anyone else. I mean, yeah, there are circumstances that hold us down. There are circumstances that might hold us back. But we have to choose our path. We have to choose whether or not we're going to continue to take a back seat to everybody else, or if we're going to choose our life so that we can help everybody else. Sometimes you have to choose you in order to help everyone else. And that's the truth. You have to help yourself before you can help anybody else. You have to heal yourself before you can help heal anybody else. And remember, you can't fix people. You can help heal people. You can guide them. You can show them the way. You can show them your light that might inspire them to find their own. But you cannot fix people. All right? Don't go into something thinking, oh, well, I can fix this, because you can't. What's happening is you're trying to fix something that's broken in you in someone else. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to work. I've tried it because I had a lot of broken shit inside of me, and it just did not pan out. So let's see. Oh, that's, wow. That card, you know, one popped down, selling out. That's like the freakiest card on the planet, right? I mean, it's like, why does she have blood coming out of her mouth? I mean, like, legit. I love these cards, but some of them are a little freaky. But this one, interestingly enough, this one popped out face up. Phoenix Rising. I think that's a good sign. I'm looking forward to that one. I've never drawn that card. So I feel like that one's also for me. Believe it or not, sometimes when cards come out, because I don't pick these guys, they just, you've seen it, they fly out of the deck. I think before I get into the book, I'm having all these thoughts right now. So selling out is a lot of different things, all right? You know, you'll have a favorite band that suddenly might head in a different direction with their music, and they might not be like the same group you fell in love with, and you're like, oh, they sold out. They sold out to the band. But that may not be the case. It just may be, you know, musicians are an interesting group. Their creativity goes all over the board. You know, I mean, maybe you have someone that was so used to doing a certain type of music, then all of a sudden you find them doing like 40s standards or 50s standards. And you're just like, what the hell happened? But it might be something they love. And because they're in a position now where they have a fan base, where they're, you know, they are making X amount of money, that they can do something that's passionate to them. So, but we consider it selling out, right? Think of selling out too in our own lives as, oh, I'm setting boundaries. You know, maybe there's someone in my life that, you know, I don't want to get rid of, but I have to hold back a little bit because I don't want to be taken advantage of. So you're going to set that boundary. Now, here's the thing. They may say to you, oh, well, you know, why are you doing this, or blah, blah, blah. And they may not understand. And in the bigger, broader spectrum, that could be in the back of their mind, like you're selling out, like you're giving into this or you're giving into that. No, what you're doing is you're protecting yourself. You're taking care of you. Now, whatever this card means, we're going to find out in a second. However, I figure whatever this card means, it's going to be telling you what you need to do in your life so that you can be the Phoenix Rising, so that you can rise from the ashes. Here's the thing about healing journeys. This is the Heal Yourself deck. So we're going to talk about a healing journey for a second. The interesting thing about healing journeys is you are going to have to crumble yourself into 1,000 million whatever pieces, whatever number pops up into your mind. 5,278, right? Little tiny pieces of you. And it's up to you to put that puzzle back together. So many things in life can break us. And for people who've had severe trauma, or people who've had trauma of any type in their life, or have been through terrible, horrifying, scary situations, whatever it is that has caused some kind of disconnect inside of you, and maybe has made you feel broken or lost or just afraid of just stepping forward and moving forward towards the beautiful life that you want, it needs to find a way. There's like think of it as like a glass wall, or not even a glass wall, because glass can break pretty easy. Think of it as like a plexiglass wall. If anybody's ever been to a hockey game, you know how hard that glass is. I mean, it takes a frozen puck going about 100+ miles an hour to crack one of those things. And it doesn't always even crack it. So those things are pretty tough. Okay, but it's up to us to break this thing down and to put all these pieces back together. That's the healing journey. And the healing journey can be scary. And yeah, some people might think you're selling out because, you're taking care of yourself. You're setting boundaries. You're not putting up with poor behavior anymore. You're recognizing your self-worth so you don't have to put up with poor behavior anymore. But because you're doing that, you may help them. And they may say mean things simply because they're on their own healing journey. But it is scary. It is one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever had in my life. And, when we think terror, we think, horror movies or being caught in a situation where that's life-threatening. And, for some people, this can be. Not everybody survives their journey. I know, it's a sad thought to think about, that not everybody survives their journey. And for those people who haven't survived their journey, it's up to us to show others that it can be done, to honor their lives, because something was too much for them. And to not judge their choices. The people that don't make it through their journeys that are really hard, it's not that they're weak. It was just too much in that moment. And unfortunately, sometimes it's a moment that can't be reversed. So it's a spontaneous choice. And for some people, it's not. For some people, it's just like, okay, this is it. And they might change their mind. So there's no judgment there. There's no shame there. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own path. But it can be scary. So if you are going on one of these things, I highly recommend professional help. Or at least having a good support group if you're not into professional help. But remove the stigma from therapy. Therapy is amazing. I love therapy. But, I know that for some, when I say it's not for everybody, I mean that in the sense that you have to be ready for it. If you're going to go in and just bullshit your therapist, then you're not going to get anything out of it. You have to be able to be raw AF if you're going into therapy. All right. And that's the scary part. That's the hard part. Telling a stranger your whole life story and all the horrible things that may or may not have happened to you. And don't feel, don't worry about being judged. Maybe you have, I'll say regular issues that might be big to you. Everybody's problems are their own. There's no shame. Maybe you didn't have the trauma that, your best friend might have had, but you might have other stuff going on. And you might think, well, that's dumb for me to go to therapy for that. No, it's not. Therapy is somebody who is a third party in your life, who is on the outside looking in, trying to help you figure out what path that you need to take, help you push over that line. And that can be very, very important. It's not just for people who were damaged and broken inside, okay? Therapy is for everybody. It's like having a mediator in your life, except it's just one-on-one, unless you choose to bring someone, and sometimes people do, or there's couples therapy and all that. It's about a safe space. It's having a safe space so someone will listen, for someone to listen, all right? So let's get to these cards. Selling out. Your integrity and inner strength are being severely tested. You have an opportunity to act with either fear or love. Where in your life are you selling out or acting out of integrity? Are you in a job you hate? Are you living in a toxic environment and making yourself sick in the pursuit of financial security? This card asks you to find the courage to stand up for your convictions and take steps towards doing what you love. Selling out is linked to the shadow aspect of the prostitute archetype. Oh, that's interesting. When you connect to this archetype, you can examine your fears around survival, power, responsibility, and success. On the light side, the prostitute can lead you to freedom, self-expression, choice, and love. So here's the action for this card. You have to make a choice about whether you will use your power, talents, and abilities for selfishness and exploitation or the higher good. Take a few deep breaths and focus on your body. Become conscious of where in your body you feel like you are losing your energy and your power. Place your hands on that part of your body. Visualize your prostitute archetype. It can look similar to this card or a darker version of you. Ask this archetype to show you where in your life you are selling out. Become aware of how this affects various areas of your life and your physical and emotional health. Ask your prostitute aspect to help you regain your inner strength and make empowering decisions. Now, I find it interesting that they chose a prostitute archetype, because now I get it, right? I mean, she kind of looked like a vampire, but now I get it. It's smeared lipstick. It's someone who's probably just had the crap beaten out of her. And it's because she probably felt like she had no other choice but to choose this profession, right? To choose this path. And look, she looks like she's bleeding right here. But we have to, and her eyes, look at her eyes. They're so sad. They're so lost. They look so sad and so lost. Like, what am I doing? Why am I here? You know, and again, there's no judgment. I'm not judging anybody or their chosen profession. But you have to admit that a lot of people who are out walking the streets, they're not doing it by choice. They're doing it for a reason. And it's probably some version of survival. So, when, you know, and don't judge this. You know, you may, when it says to place your hand on the part of the body that feels like it's losing its energy and power, don't judge it. If it's somewhere in your nether regions, don't judge it. Okay, because that's what we do a lot. We judge ourselves and then oh, that's so icky, or that's so wrong. No, it's not wrong. This is your body. All right, this is your body. You are in charge of your body. You are in charge of how it is taken care of. You are in charge of how it's pleasured. You are in charge of who gets to touch it or who doesn't get to touch it. It's your choice. You get to choose. And I think in part of this exercise is awesome because it's teaching us to stop judging certain things, to stop judging these parts of us that we're like, oh, you know, I mean, I get that way sometimes. I do giggle a lot. And I don't know why. Honestly, don't know why. I'm so open about a lot of things because I know how scared I used to be. I know how, you know, just pushed down I used to be. And when you free yourself, it's an amazing feeling. And I think that's what this is trying to tell you. When you learn to heal these parts where the energy is going dim, you are literally going to be the phoenix that is rising. And on a healing journey, that is everything. That phoenix rising is that part of you where, you know, you are coming into your own. You are remembering who you are. And you're rising because the healing journey is one of the hardest journeys, again, as I mentioned before, that you will ever take. You know, whether, you know, and regardless of, you know, what caused it. When we break ourselves down to the lowest point, it is like a survival game. But we have to choose. Do we want to live, you know, in fear or love? And I think we should all choose love. Self-love is one of the biggest gifts you will ever give yourself. So the Phoenix rising, everything in your life is falling apart in order for you to rise from the ashes with renewed strength. So see, those cards absolutely 100% go together. Absolutely. Here comes the gardener. Those cards absolutely 100% go together. We just talked about how you have to kind of break yourself down. So again, everything in your life is falling apart in order for you to rise from the ashes with renewed strength. This is not a time to create, but a time to sweep away everything that has not worked in your life. The reason so many things are breaking down and not going your way is because the old cycle of your life is completing. You may feel that you are walking through the fires of life right now in order to be cleaned and purified for your rebirth. Soon you will not recognize yourself. You are reclaiming your spirit. If possible, try to isolate yourself from the chaos surrounding you. Now is the time for you to feel any pain that you have previously suppressed so that you can heal. The universe has plans and opportunities that are better than you can imagine, so let go and trust and anticipate what is coming. Write down so here's the action. Write down what you were afraid to let go of. Number your fears from worst thing that could happen to the smaller fears. Then write down what could be a possible gift of facing that fear. Place your hands on the part of your body where you feel the most fear. Oh, see, these cards do go together. Place your hands on the part of the body where you're losing your energy or where you feel the most fear. Say to yourself out loud, I am willing to let this fear go. Imagine being able to take the sensation of fear out of your body and into the palm of your hands. Envisage that the fear becomes a bird. Surrender the bird to a higher source and visualize it flying away. Repeat the word surrender several times. So you're going to so say it's your heart, right? You're afraid of your heart getting broken or hurt or something. But you're assuming that's what's going to happen to you because it's been done by so many people before. Right? And I'm using this as an example because that's what it feels like. It feels like, you're sitting there and you're going, well, how can I trust anybody because it didn't work out a billion times before this? But you never know. So whatever you're entering into, or if you're hoping that you will be entering into something, just, open your heart. If you want something, and I'm talking to myself now too, if you want to find that love, you have got to figure out how to open your heart and not worry about, X amount of time down in the future, to just enjoy each moment as it comes. Because once we leave the present and we get too far into the future, there's always a level of future we have to think about, right? Where is this going? What's happening? Is this a thing? Blah, blah, blah. But when we get too far into the future and we start coming up with scenarios that have not happened, don't even have an inkling of possibly happening, but we're creating all this crap in our head, that's where you're going to get lost. So you would just, put your hand over whatever place. For me, it's my heart. And imagine this fear turning into a little bird. In my mind, it's an origami bird, like a little crane, right? And that's interesting that I said that, though, because my cousin said in the Japanese culture, when people get married, it's customary for them to make, I don't know if it's the bride or what, because I was not really clear on that, to make 1,000 cranes. And I don't know, maybe they let them go. I don't know. But just imagine that you're surrendering that bird to your higher source and let it fly away. Take that fear, imagine that fear just coming out of your heart space or whatever space it is that's bothering you. Maybe you want a child and you're having trouble, and the man or the woman, right? You could place your hands in that area. Imagine that fear coming out of this area, of your reproductive areas, and letting it go. That doesn't mean it's going to make anything different, but it might, because, sometimes when people are trying so hard to have a child, they're actually stressing themselves out so much that they're causing it not to happen. So, those are two examples I can think of. The first one was mine with the heart, and the other one is just, I know people who do struggle to have children, who want to have children. And I'm not talking about people like me who wanted it and it didn't happen. I'm talking about the people who are trying now. And like I said, sometimes it's the stress. Have you ever known these people where, they finally gave up, right? And they're like, well, not gave up, but maybe they were doing treatments or stuff and they're like, oh, and then they just decide, what, maybe it's not meant for us. Let's go do our thing, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they're stress-free, they're relaxed because they're not focused so much on one particular thing. And then poof, it happens. So, it took me, well, from the time my parents got married to the time I was born was about 6 years, but it took about 5 some odd years for me to poof along. So, the timing, I guess, just had to be right. So let's get to the magical unicorns, and then we'll get to the goddess guidance cards. I only picked a few this time because, I'm only half feeling it today. But there's been a lot of stuff that's happened. So this week, yesterday was just harrowing while out on the road. As my friend said, I was talking to my friend last night, and they're all like, have you noticed the last few days that people driving on the road, it's like they're driving on meth. And it does feel that way. And yesterday that almost happened. Sibling and I were almost in an accident, and we were just sitting at a light and hoping for the best because there was nowhere we could go. And this car was just barreling down on us going 240. So, all the scary stuff. Well, kids, I guess we're only going to get one card out of this deck. Okay, I'm feeling one more shuffle. Nothing? Oh, that one felt like it wanted to come out, but nope. Well, finish what you've started. That one just kind of poofed into the top, so we're not going to do that one. But let's see. Let's see what magical unicornish card came out that flew out. Aw, love. Oh, look at that pretty baby just sitting there. Like, oh, I know it looks kind of blue, right? You see the tones of blue, and The horse just kind of looks like a heavy sigh. But if you notice in the back, it looks like the sun's starting to come up on their life. So don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. That includes you, Shelley Marie. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. So the answer that you're seeking is love. The answer that you're seeking is love. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I get a little jaded when it comes to that because, you know, I feel like I'm passing my prime or something. I don't know. So I'm just going to read the book on this one, and I'm going to go with what they go with. So this card wants you to know the simple yet powerful answer that you seek. It's love. Pure love, divine love, healing love. You can heal your current situation by acting more lovingly towards others. You can also tell them, I love you. Even holding loving feelings toward another person is a powerful way to heal them and the relationship. You can send love to someone who's in need by seeing or feeling love coming from your heart and going to the other person. You are also called upon to teach others about love. You can do this in many different ways. You can talk, write, or sing about it. You can draw, photograph, or paint a picture that shows love. You can make someone laugh to open their heart or inspire them with your own example of living a life of love. This card may also mean that another person really loves you but doesn't know how to show or tell you these feelings. Remember that not everyone is comfortable with strong feelings. Compassion is part of love, which means being open to other people's differences. So if you're in that situation, and you might be, just hang in there, okay? I will tell you this. The greatest gift you can give yourself is self-love. And I know it doesn't say self-love, it just says love here. But self-love is huge. And it's actually helped me. So I know I joke sometimes about it. But in the last couple of days and some of the conversations I've had with some of my really, really good friends, I've realized that, you know what? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And whenever it's going to happen, it will happen. If it happens. But I have to be content in knowing that my self-worth is not placed in somebody else loving me. My self-worth is placed in how much love I show myself, how much love I give myself. That other love that comes through, that divine healing love, what did it say? The pure love, divine love, and healing love. Those are all bonuses. Those are all the extra feelings of love that just, wow, right? I mean, maybe you feel like you're coming out of a rainstorm and the sun is shining and the sun is the self-love. The rainbow that appears during that is everything else. It's the pure love, the divine love, and the healing love. So just, allow that to enter your life. Give yourself that self-love. Give yourself that feeling that you deserve something magical and beautiful. All right. So the last deck, I just saw this deck and then I pulled it out because all I saw was that. And I thought, oh, that looks happy. And then all of a sudden I realized it was the Goddess Guidance deck. And I thought, okay, maybe we need a little bit of a boost, right? Maybe I need some goddess love, some guidance from all the higher sources, all the higher powers. So let's see who's going to pop up today. Who wants to have their voice heard? I do. Oh, they're quiet today. All right. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, whoa. All right, well, a couple of them. Wow. I asked for help and all of a sudden, poof, all the ladies. Yeah, I got that Beyonce song stuck in my head now, all the single ladies. Oh, 5 of them. Wow, 5 of them popped out. That's a lot. So we'll decide who we're going to read on and who we're not going to read on. But the first one, Vesta, home. Your household situation is improving either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. So, if, let's see. This one doesn't feel like it's one for me to talk on. So I think it's just, there might be some people that are watching that just need, some guidance or some help. So there's an undying flame within your soul, and it's the light seed and spark of your consciousness. Your outer world reflects your inner world. Take a look around your home. Does it reflect warmth? If not, this is easily remedied and oh so important to do. It's a simple task of using your creative imagination to add warm energy to your household, such as lighting the fireplace or some candles, adding cozy blankets and pillows, or displaying greeting cards and fresh flowers. By warming up your outer world, your inner flame responds to meet it. This increases your energy level, which automatically shifts all outward appearances towards the better. Watch how these simple steps recharge the flame within everyone in the household. This flame cleanses away negativity and brings in the new with vigor and irresistible invitation. So, various meanings of this card. You're moving to a new home. You just moved. A new person is moving in. Someone is moving out. There is increased romance and or harmony in the home. A problem with neighbors is resolving. Clear the space in your home. Remodel. Know that your home is safe and protected. That's a big one. And about Vesta. Vesta is the Roman goddess of home and hearth. Vesta is a fire goddess who brings warmth to a household, both as temperature and as an emotion. In ancient Rome, a temple in her honor bore a flame that burned continually. Call upon Vesta to oversee any changes you'd like to make in your living situation. So there you go. The next one, Maeve. Cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. We were just kind of talking about this, right? But on a lot of different levels. So, whether you're, in this reproductive phase of your life, or you're in the menopausal phase of your life, or maybe you're younger and haven't quite reached any of those things yet. There's the maiden, the mother, and the crone, right? And, we always look at crones as being these freaky looking, stepmother from Snow White witch thing. But the crone is the older, wiser woman. They will say like she's not necessarily a mom. I'm not a mom, but hey, I'm older and wiser. Trust me. I may not have my own children, but I definitely have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I get to use guidance. So no, I'm not mean. I might scold if they're misbehaving, but I'm not mean. But Maeve is the cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. So let's see what she has to say. Where are you? All of life is cyclical. The moon, the stars, and the very universe. Life inhales and then exhales again. So why should you be surprised or upset that you too have cycles? There are times when you feel energized, awake, and alive. There are other times when you feel isolated and shy. Your body too goes through pronounced cycles and changes. Celebrate these rhythms and embrace them as the essence of the lifeblood that courses through you. So, I figured by now I would menopause. But okay, so TMI, all right? I still have my cycles and I complain about it, but I try to have gratitude about it. Like there was a time when this could have meant that, I could reproduce. I could do all this. I could bring life into this world. And, obviously I am single, so that's not happening at this moment. But the point is that it's a beautiful thing in nature, and we can look at it in a horrible way, or we can look at it as something that is a cycle and a rhythm. And that's the same with menopause. It's a cycle and a rhythm. Not particularly sure what men go through, but I'm sure they go through their own thing. There's, the level of virility, right? And a lot of times it's kind of one of those things that, use it or lose it. And if you're not using it, you might lose it. And then that's probably where a lot of it comes from. That anxiety, that performance anxiety, right? That performance anxiety. And that's both sides. So just, give yourself some grace, give yourself some compassion, and just, roll through your cycles and figure out how you can how you can roll through these cycles. Okay. So, and Maeve, let's see, what else does Maeve have to say? She's the female gynecological. Various meanings of this card. Female gynecological changes starting your menses or your menopause, for example. That's exactly what it says. MENSES. Or menopause, for example. So the two cycles, right? The mother and the crone. And are an issue for you, or make time to rest. Rest is big, okay? Rest is huge. Initiate steps to alleviate depression or lethargy. Sometimes depression can cause lethargy. So when they say initiate steps, maybe you might be one of those people who are diagnosed with a dinged up mental health and might have to be on meds. Don't be ashamed. It will help you balance out. Take better care of your body. Seek support for dealing with emotional crisis. Allow yourself to grieve or take time off. Know that this lull won't last forever. A doorway of opportunity has opened up and you need to walk through it now. So there you go. A doorway of opportunity has opened up. Cycles and rhythms aren't just about our body, it's about our life. Everything is a cycle that we go through. And you get to choose whether you live in fear or you live in excitement. Do you want to be excited or do you want to live in fear? That's your choice. So about Maeve, a Celtic goddess, Maeve celebrates her femininity. Her femininity. Her sexual appetite is legendary. Wow. And she's been said to favor kings as her lovers. Legend says that Maeve invoked labor pains on an army seeking to invade her land, and that she demanded that the battle cease during her menstrual cycle. Call upon Maeve for relief from pain associated with feminine cycles, including menstruation, labor, and delivery, and menopause. So there you go. If any of you are going through that, call on Maeve. She's kind of cool looking, all right? But you know what? Can you imagine that? Your worst enemy's running at you and it's like, I'm going to give you all cramps. That's a power I think all women wish they had. So, I know. All right. So we have, the last ones we have are Sekhmet, Abuntant. I don't know why I cannot say that. I'm going to look up the enunciation, because I'm going to butcher that. Abuntia? Abundantia? Abundantia. Oh, Abundantia. Abundantia. All right. See, once I get the pronunciation, I'm good to go. So she is the Roman and Norse goddess of prosperity, success, and abundance, which, in case you couldn't get that from how I was trying to say it. But the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. Now, these other cards, cycles and rhythms and home, when you start to open all this stuff up and you start to do all these things and you start to say, hey, you know, I mean, don't worry about if your house is cluttered. Don't worry about what, you know, make yourself feel cozy in your house. When you feel cozy in your house, you are bringing this vibe to you that is going to open everything up. And that's what Maeve is trying to say with her cycles and rhythms. Everything goes in cycles. You know, it's like the Wheel of Fortune card in the tarot deck, right? If it feels like you're in a bad place right now, that wheel is turning. But it only turns as fast as you allow it to. So if you're sitting there going, oh my God, that wheel's going to slow down. But when you have gratitude, when you show gratitude, when you feel gratitude for everything, even in the most dire situations, that wheel's going to spin back around, and it's going to spin faster. And it's going to come back around and you're going to have what you need. But you also have to be strong, and, you know, your sensitivity is a big one, but I think that might be a different type of sensitivity. So Sekhmet came up first, and she's be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. So I don't even think I need the book on this one. We're going to do the book on sensitivity and tarot, but I think Sekhmet and you know, this one. I don't know why I can't say it. Abundantia. You have to be strong, okay? And in a way, with Terra, you're becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. Well, you know, we all enjoy a good drink or two from time to time. But with this one, especially with harsh relationships and environments and in situations, that can ruin these things. You have to be strong. Okay? If you want to prosper, and remember, abundance isn't just about money. It's about a lot of things. It's about love. It's about good times. It's being in abundance of good things. Being in abundance of good things. And it can also be about prosperity. So, you know, but the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. You have to be open to receiving. And in order to be open to receiving, no matter what your situation is, you have to be strong and stay strong. You have to stand your ground. That doesn't mean you have to be a dick and punch someone in the face if they come running at you. No, what I mean is you have to be strong in your resolve. Do you deserve better? Do you want better? Do you want it with a certain person? Do you want it on a certain path? Now, what we're asking for may not always come to us in the way we expect it, right? Like you may say, I specifically want this house, but you might get a different one. And you may think, oh, well, okay. But when you know, after you've gotten over the fact that maybe you settled for something else, you're like, oh my God, this place is amazing. This place is absolutely amazing. I mean, that's a big example. That's a different kind of example. But it's a good example because, when you're manifesting, praying, or setting an intention, always use the term this or something better, this or something better, because your spirit guide needs wiggle room. All right, your guides, your higher power, your higher source, they need wiggle room. You can't just say, oh, I want that, because that may not be meant for you. Okay, but it will be replaced with what is meant for you, and it might be something better than what you initially wanted. Maybe that one house you wanted would have had a lot of overhead and a lot of, unnecessary costs and this and that and the other. But this other place might be like, oh, this is cozy. This is nice. It still has the same kind of view. It's wonderful. And, it's less work, because you never know. But those are just examples, okay? But you have to be strong. All right. Sekhmet says, be strong. So, and, Abundancia, finally got it. Abundancia says, stay open to receiving. Okay? Make your home a cozy home. Allow yourself to get into that cycle and rhythm of receiving. Okay? No matter what it is you're going through, no matter what the cycle or rhythm may be saying, get into the open mind of receiving. Stick in that cycle. Use gratitude. Write a list. Do something. Do your gratitude every day. Do 5 gratitudes every day. Just be grateful. Even if you don't know what to be grateful for. I'm so happy and grateful for, this adorable pen. Okay, it ran out of ink, but guess what? It's also, you can use it on your electronics. So, and it's so cute. I think my friend got this for me. Twin Falls Visitor Center from Idaho. My cousin got me this one. So, but yeah. So there's the cycle and the rhythms. Be sensitive to your surroundings, all right? If it's not making you feel good, you need to let it go, or you need to set boundaries with it. Not everything needs to be walked away from, but you definitely need stronger boundaries until whatever is causing this issue either figures it out on their own or allows you to help guide them. And be strong. Be strong. Stand your ground, stand in, your resolve. Don't let people walk all over you. Put your foot down. Bottom line things. Older sibling, sometimes when my healing journey would send me down into the dark forest, she would put her foot down and she would just be like, let's bottom line this. Let's figure out what you need to get through at this point. And then, of course I went back to therapy. This was a couple years ago. And my first round with therapy, and now I'm back in therapy again. But because there's just stuff that you need to talk through again with people. There's no stigma on it. There's my mental health is doing great. I'm realizing I have all these tools that have helped me. I think my therapist sometimes wonders why I'm in therapy, but we get along really well. So sometimes it's just like a nice chitty chat and a visit. But yeah, and all those things, when you do that, can lead to prosperity. Okay. And remember, again, prosperity isn't just about money. It's about love. It's about things. It's about, just all this good stuff, right? It's when the sun and the rain finally meet and you get that rainbow. It's that bonus in your life. But you have to make sure that you are taking care of these other things within you. Okay? So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves. These are some really great cards that we had today, and I'm very pleased with them. They all really kind of had the same idea, right? I mean, we started out with the selling out and the Phoenix Rising card, and then we had love, and all this whole reading has just been tied into like one huge reading. When you have self-love, you have self-worth. When you have self-worth, you believe that you can have things. When you believe you can have things, you make a cozy place for yourself. You become sensitive to the harsh energies around you, and you either learn to protect yourself and then guide them through, or you walk away. You set boundaries of some sort, whether it's a boundary, where people can't cross into it, but you're just kind of like, and, you find the Zen part of you. And when we learn all these things, when we learn that self-love, that self-worth, it can open doors like you wouldn't imagine. But you have to be strong, because being open and going through those cycles and having self-love and having self-worth, it's sometimes very hard to maintain. I still struggle with it a little bit, but I'm working on it and I'm getting better. And that's one of the reasons, I still do this show, is because I know that no matter how much we've healed and how great we feel, sometimes we're going to have those days where we feel like we took 50 steps forward and 100 steps back. And that's okay. Just stand in that spot for a second. Remind yourself who you are, what you're made of. Take however long you need. Take a beat. Take a few beats if you need to. And you're going to get right back to where you were. Sometimes I think we just get so out of our head that we're like, oh my God. And then we panic. And then in a way we sell out, right? Because we're not doing what we know we need to do. We're kind of quitting on ourselves. So that's your reading for today. I really like that. Wow. There was a lot of cards in there that really touched me, and I hope they did for you as well. Okay, so, yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a safe weekend. Please, please, please take care of yourselves, and just have some self-love and believe, trust in that abundance, trust in that open door. Okay, I'll see everybody back here on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Anybody can watch. It's under Shelly Marie Lucas. And again, it's public, so anybody can watch. And yeah, so, like I said, have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Have a great day.